Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members. And I also want to start by saying, this was a difficult job for the budget chair, for the members of the budget committee, for the staff who've been working on this. We know that we were facing massive deficits. And when you have deficits and you have to make tough decisions, that's certainly not an easy thing to do. So I do appreciate the gravity of that situation. But I think it also has to be said that we are in this place because we've had reckless spending over many years. And our LAO, Legislative Analyst's Office, has told us many times over the time that I've been here that the spending is not sustainable, that soon you will be facing these kinds of deficits. They warned us in report after report. So we shouldn't be surprised, first of all, by where we are today. And, the reason that I can't support this budget today is for a few reasons. First of all, we aren't truly dealing with that reining in spending and ensuring that we're being fiscally responsible. And perhaps the biggest example of that is in continuing to fund health care under our Medi-Cal program for illegal immigrants. We simply cannot afford it. In this budget, it makes it clear it's $12.1 billion that you're going to have to spend to keep that commitment that you made. When that originally was proposed, it was said it would be a $4 billion cost. It's $12 billion. It is clearly not sustainable and not feasible. And what I worry about most is what has already been said on this floor, is that as we get further down the year and we realize it's not sustainable, you will have to make cuts. And likely those cuts are going to come to the most vulnerable. I'm proud of the Republican caucus. I'm proud of the minority party, who I think actually played a pretty big influence on this budget in calling for IHSS funding to be restored, for the funding for developmentally disabled. And you heard that call and you've done that. In this budget, it is restored. I give credit for that. We were calling for that. But I worry that as we get down the road, and it's very clear we still have a $5.5 billion that is kind of papered over here, where are those cuts going to come from? We're putting ourselves in a really bad position, and the most vulnerable are the ones who are going to pay that price if we don't get this right and we don't get back to fiscal sanity. I also am proud of the minority party pushing for Prop 36 to get funded. And the gentleman's right, it is funded in this. The governor wanted zero. The governor had no money to fund Prop 36. He wanted to ignore the will of the voters. And so this budget does have $200 million. Problem is this, it needs to be $400 million to fully fund Prop 36. That's what the voters demanded. That was what was in our amendment, by the way, that you could have voted for, to fully fund Prop 36 and keep the promise of the voters. So movement in the right direction, but we're still not where we need to be. And oh, by the way, all of our consumers out there who are about to get another gas tax hike come July 1, this budget doesn't do anything about that. They're going to pay the price again. So again, our people are paying the price of our inability to bring back fiscal sanity in this state. And lastly, I want to talk about wildfire. We're coming on the heels of another devastating wildfire in Los Angeles. I've been in this chamber for going on 11 years now. I've been talking about this issue for many years.
30 seconds.
And in this budget is only $200 million under the Greenhouse Gas Fund. The Greenhouse Gas Fund is putting $1 billion towards high-speed rail and $200 million towards wildfire prevention. That should be reversed. Actually, high-speed rail should be getting nothing, and $1 billion should be going to wildfire. That's what we did in 2021, by the way, in the aftermath of the Dixie Fire. One of the last devastating fires to hit the state, but certainly not the only.
Thank you, Leader Gallagher. Thank you, Leader Gallagher.
Mr. Speaker, this is really important. I would ask.
I agree. It is very important. We're all allotted 5 minutes, Mr. Speaker.
We need to ensure that that's $1 billion. It's not in this budget. Our priorities are misplaced if we don't do it. And the governor continues to cut that money. We should make
Thank
sure
you,
that
Leader
doesn't happen.
Gallagher. Thank you.